So what you've just seen, of course, is the candlelight service that was held in Clarendon. A lot of people turned out, of course, to just comfort the family and provide a little bit of cheer. And we all know that after the music stops and the dancing stops, and Mrs. McKnight and her family is by themselves again, they're going to be going through a rough spot, right? Because this has really shook everyone up, including myself, like 5 members of the family, right? It is a very shocking thing, right? You can't imagine 5 caskets and all of that. It's really overwhelming, but we're praying for comfort for this family. And we hope that they find peace. And if her family members have not reached out to her, then we're asking that they do so, because to be going through this is a very tragic situation. The situation is very, very tragic, to say the least, right? You spend so much on kids. You bond with them, and you don't expect them to leave you. You expect them to bury you. And now you are burying your child and your grandkids, right? It's not a good situation at all. And we're imploring that anyone who is involved in violence, please stop. The country is losing billions of dollars. Billions are going into crime fighting, and it could be used to elevate, educate, train, help the poor, homes, jobs, training, all of that, especially for the poor. This to maintain this crime fighting round the clock with security forces is not an easy thing for any government. And basically, you're destroying the country. And this is your country. This is where your family lives. This is where your community lives, right? And if you don't want that to flourish and strive, they keep going at the rate that they're going, then in no time the entire place will be destroyed. So if you love Jamaica, Jamaica is such a beautiful place, and so many people want to come and spend money and open businesses and provide jobs, and to improve the infrastructure. And because of the crime, the daily crime, a lot of people are scared to do that. Can you imagine if the crime is just cut at least by 50%? Right? It's too much for one small country, right, to handle. And all the government resources and money is going into spending so much to fight crime. Psychologists for victims and all of this. A lot of counties not know this, but the taxpayers are footing the bill for all these hospitals, wounding, gunshot wounds, all of this, right? Murders, all of this have to be attended to. The security forces, the police lockup, the prisons, all of this is taking a toll on the government, right? So it's like rampant criminality. And we're asking and appealing. So many times we've done videos about this. And we're just asking that everyone keep a cool head and be smart. You're ruining your country. There's no point in fleecing your own brother or trying, if you have an argument, you run for a weapon and you have the intelligence to talk about it. Why you have to resort to violence? There's too much aggression. And with poor people, they say because they've always been brought up in an aggressive situation, they constantly have to be defending themselves. because of the environment where they live. But at the same time, I remembered I've seen videos, pictures of our foreparents living in much poorer conditions, and they were not behaving like this, like antisocial. They were not. So that with the poor and the aggression, and from the time you're born, basically you're defending yourself until you die in the poorer areas, and every single day it's like a fight for your life, because sometimes you're maybe not be involved in anything, but you're caught up in it because you live there, right? And we understand that, but still it doesn't, it to me, it's not making sense if every single time you have an argument someone has to die, someone has to get hurt, someone has to bleed. Not even animals behave like this, right? So it's time for a change. It's really time for a change, right? And if we try to curb certain behaviors, especially for the children, if they're going to be growing up in this environment and living this type of life, then it's going to be a cycle. So you can break the cycle. You can break the cycle. And by all means, you can let the child go to church. Church plays a lot of different roles in society. Yes, they offer a lot of tools to the children that they may not get at home, right? Because the parents may not be exposed to these tools that are used in the church, right? So they know how to solve issues, right? How to communicate, how to have a soft voice instead of always being this aggressive and defiant mode. It turns off that aggression, right? Gives you a chance to breathe and to realize that you don't have to have this aggressive stance, this combative mode all the time, right? There's other ways. There's other ways of solving issues. And if we expose the children to that, teach the children. If you're teaching children at a young age, then they will not depart from that. But if they see the adults running for a machete every time there's an argument, a knife, or other deadly weapons, then the children will copy that behavior. So it's time for a change. Everyone is exhausted. We are just tired of the bloodshed, tired of the aggression, and it's just time for a change. So if you could do your part and tone it down, it would be a good thing for your community, for your family, and for Jamaica. We are a God-fearing community, a God-fearing country. Where did all of that go? If you don't have faith, if you don't have something to believe in, like a higher power, if you don't have any fear of this higher power or respect this higher power, even if you're saying you're not a Christian, look at the Rastafarians. They're not living like this. They're not running around taking lives and all of that. They have a faith, they have something that they believe in, and they have that to guide their actions, right? We must have something to guide us. If you don't have any God in you, then what kind of society is it going to be? And Jamaica is known for having more churches per square mile than any other country in the world. And yet still, we are behaving like animals, running around, taking out each other, chopping each other, stabbing, all of this in front of the children. And they're going through a lot of trauma, believe me. So the government has to be hiring counselors, psychologists, psychotherapists all of this, family counseling. They have to be burying people because a lot of families don't have the funds to bury loved ones that were taken out. The government has to foot the bill for that. The hospital bills, they're mounting. The doctors are overwhelmed. And a big part of the reason why all of this is happening is because people don't believe in a higher power. They don't believe in God anymore, right? They have no qualms about doing anything. We are asking again that everyone that is involved in any type of crime to desist from doing so. Look into yourself. People are taking out babies, children, minors, teenagers. They're turning weapons on young people, young kids, elders, mothers, fathers. What kind of society will we have if we don't have the parents to guide the children? This is going to be another catastrophe that we're going to be faced with, because hundreds of parents have been taken out. Relatives can do so much, but they're not going to have that interest in guiding, caring for a child. The parents who brought them into this world, they have certain attachment to their children, and some relatives will do it for a short while, and because of financial constraints, they can't parent that child or the children anymore, and they just fall by the wayside. So we're also appealing, I know the government is carrying a lot, but we're also appealing for the government to form a task force and find the children that have lost a parent or both parents, because it's going to be a cycle all over again. That child needs counseling, and that child needs to be helped, taken care of financially in whatever way the government can, like helping with schooling and all of that, finding jobs, right? Otherwise, we're going to have the cycle being repeated all over again. Please stop taking out parents. You are destroying the country. You're destroying your own country. You're destroying your own families. Look into yourself. Look in a mirror and see if this is what you want for your life. What is it that is missing from your life while you're running around and causing all this destruction, all this destructive behavior? Seek help. Put down the weapons. Bury them 10 feet. Please stop doing this. You're destroying your country. Look yourself in the mirror. Look at the man in the mirror. Look and see if what you're doing is just utter nonsense. Stop. You need to stop that behavior and seek help. Turn away from that destructive behavior. You're basically destroying lives. And we have made this request on many of our videos. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Take care of yourself and others. Bye for now.